is day 612, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Like the sponsor, upcoming share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This can be directly be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Shin Samach. Base again. Yudala to Chaf Aleph. Yudala. Chol the Oros Mechitza. You can make a wall out of anything. Vafil Bekalim, even out of vessels. Vafil Ochli, even out of food. Vafil Mechitza Mechoras Al Bekalim. And even if the wall is made up out of many kalim, like put saddles on each other, top of each other, and tells Baruch, as long as it doesn't want not a wall which is swept by the wind. When it's steamed dakim, such as from very thin curtains, like very thin sheets. We find that they made a wall out of sheets. Either they were thick, that the wind would not cause them to sway, or so that they tied them with pegs, taut. We're going to learn that by sukkah. We learn that it's preferable not to do it deliberately. Maybe the ties to the pegs will become severed. They won't pay attention on Sham. You can make a wall out of hay, kash or straw, or grasses, and the animal can eat from it. This might go we're not afraid it's going to become lower than 10 fachim as a result. Can't eat that much. But don't put food from the wall into the animal's feed bag in order to feed it. Because you might put in a lot. Actually, you might have gone and become lower than 10 fachim. What about in the winter? Does it work to have a wall of snow or frost or ice? It would seem that it does work. Because it says in Basra Daf Chav, all these things don't diminish the size of a window. That it should be less than a poseach tefach, which brings in the tumah and lets the tumah out. So the came in the Nimokim Millers did say dissolve on their own. They don't diminish the window from the size of the tefach. So go without saying that there's no wall on this such a thing. That there's simply water. That's not proof. The mistimas poser tefach are bito lamis. In order for something to be considered less than a tefach, it has to be there, negated there forever. It's going to remain there permanently. Something which you won't normally remove. So there, since the snow is going to melt, you can't consider permanent. But here, for mechitzas don't have to be permanent. So therefore, it should be sufficient. Such as the walls of a caravan. And for its time, the snow is permanent during the winter. Up north where it's very cold, they make roads which go throughout the winter on ice and snow, on ice on top of a pond. So we wrote there. It didn't see that's why temporary mechitza doesn't work. That that's it's for an hour or for a day, literally. Coming was there for several days. It certainly works. By Steve Dollar theorized maybe 30 days, but here he says just several days. And snow in the winter, the worst lasts for a lot of days. Also, you can't bring raya for a says a mechitza made out of paraffin or wax, something which is like a fat. Animal oil doesn't work. That's because in the heat of the sun, they'll melt immediately. It's not the case by snow in the winter. We can bring a slight proof that it's a mechitza at least. It says that you can bring mechasa adam shchita. You can cover it up with snow. Paskin says that the snowy shall say be the ground. Hare the Madame shall glorious. Snow is like the ground. Ikir bein our base Yosef Dachli Birdir Simon Chav Ches Mesifro Hagadol. The base Yosef rejects to kiss Adam with snow. That's because when you need a coverage for Kisi Adam, it has to be dirt. Sham. Nevertheless, Zeichel Dabarish. In the Mordechai, there is at least a hint. The Shelagabi Dumidar, that snow can be considered like the ground. Vav Gavi Mikvah Shelagamayim, even though there's a mikvah. Snow is like water, that can make up to 40 so of rainwater. Zelk Shematil Dochamayim Minimas. That's when you pour it into the water and it dissolves. Ayin Sham. Also says in neither that snow is not considered a beverage until you designate it as a beverage. Because as long as you haven't thought about it in that vein, it's like anything else. Why should it be suitable to be mechitza? So since Arukh HaShulchan leaves the tzarchir, we would assume that the rice would have to be machmir and the rabbanon you can be makel. So our case nowadays, of course, is the rabbanon. Tez Zayin, Isa Ba'abasa, they don't see mechitza b'ravav. You can't make mechitza with this paraffin or wax. So melech was mechitza with salt. Zel melech stom is that sodomite salt. Which is derived from the sea. Shukasha, which is hard. Amech askrantanis, which is shumelech rock, soft salt, and which presumably you mine. Ain't no sin, mimena mechitza can make a woven. The zulas tetiei hakora mevavoi. Except for under the beam in a mavui, shakar mamido, that the beam holds it in place, I guess. Shalois Baseh, that it won't scatter. Ayin Sham. Maybe say there's no proof for salt, that shouldn't be a wall. The Havana Dashalag Rachel Melach. And we call it should be a raya because snow is certainly softer than salt. No, Amy said raya l'shalag. It's not. The time of the melech the reason I saw it's not mechitza is not because of its softness. It's because it's very small pieces. It scatters. Like much because of Rashi Sham. But salt, snow, sorry, in the winter, it's there, it lies packed. It's not going to scatter. Rambam packed the sign about Tur Shulchan Aruch. Why didn't Tur Shulchan being the locha of wax or salt, sarich ir. They say that in the language used by the Eskimos, there are many, many words for snow which we don't have because there are many, many different types of snow. And obviously, there's some snow which is very powdery and scatters very easily, and then there's other snow which is very firm and solid and packed. And obviously, one can draw a parallel passage from soil and very fine and powdery snow, but not between packed stuff. Perhaps it's Zion. Christ, Bible Simon Shin Samach. We already explained in Simon Shin Samach. Sheosim mechitza sheosesi b'lo'er mechitza, which is horizontal, not vertical. Mechitza not vertical, not horizontal. Sorry. Mechitza shelkanim, but richu kolachem chaver b'chaz v'shol dvachim, like making sticks in the ground. Each one less than 3 tefachim from the next one. The kulavadami, they're considered connected as long as they're within 3 tefachim. Chetchav is so too vertical below b'shesi without so too horizontal without vertical. Such as in rope shlosha, 3 ropes to draw them across in the width. The first one less than 3 tefachim from the ground. And the second one less than 3 tefachim to the first one. And the third one and less than 3 tefachim to the second one. And the ropes themselves altogether, everyone should be more tefach in their thickness. So together they should be 10 tefachim. And an individual can carry within ropes like this, within mechitzas like this, either horizontal or vertical without horizontal, horizontal without vertical, up to a base of sign. For laptop good, that's not necessarily on the road. To what they feel beer, it's true even in the city. The mechitzas, we're saying they're complete mechitzas. But to have more than the base of sign of them is only permitted for a caravan, much kasab nusham. Kamuta lasos mechitzas b'alechayim, we also make a wall from living creatures. Vachu kifusim, as long as they're tied down, they shouldn't go from place to place and not run away. Mr. writes that the reason is that they should not run away, and also that there shouldn't be an interruption between in the space between its legs to the ground in more than 3 tefachim. But if it's tied, evidently it's tied lying down on the ground, and therefore that works. Back to Arukh HaShulchan, Yesh Chalal ben Raglei Yosem Mishlosha Tzarech L'Godra. Arukh HaShulchan does not say you make it lie down. You have to make a fence under it in order that to not be a gap. Or it should not be 3 tefachim from its stomach to the ground. We also have to make sure that if it falls over, it still has 10 tefachim. Seshma should take that would say they have to tie down. So too, if you can tie it, not necessarily tie it down, which goes with Simon Lemon and David Sukkah, like we said later on by Sukkah. According to the Mishnah, says that because the issue between the legs would seem that it not suffice to tie it so it doesn't move, but rather you also have to make some sort of wall between its legs. Back up, even though if it's not tied down, it's going to sway itself. I'm not concerned with this. It's not like the swaying of the branch of the tree, which means it's not mechitza. Because the wind sways them. So it's wall that can't stand in the wind. But that which it moves on its own volition, the animal, but it's not a problem. You can make a wall out of people, but that's a condition. The people from which you're making wall, you should not know that you're making wall out of them. Even one of them knows also it's forbidden. And that's what Chazal say. They have to be that they're not aware. The reason is not clearly explained. Some say if they know that it's like they're making wall on Shabbos. As long as they don't know, have a shogeg, it's like a shogeg, and what they don't know doesn't hurt them. It's basically the name of Rabbi Yonasan. This is not understandable. You can't also say the person making the wall. How can he make a wall out of human beings? He knows he's making a wall. You have to say there's no prohibition of making a wall. Nothing is being made. So that's the case. Why do we care if they know it? Some say the reason is so they shouldn't come to be lenient in the Shabbos prohibitions. That's the name of the Rashba. Come say to move on. This also is difficult to understand. You can't says him how can this person do it who intends to make the mechitza? He's being made on this for Shabbos. Really covers the place with Tamam Kenu. So Arukh HaShulchan says this is what I think they mean. When the people who are making up the wall know about it, but they will definitely stand carefully, one next to the other. Be careful not even this way. And like looks too much like a wall. If they don't know, they just go innocently at other people. The wall is not recognizable as such, and therefore it's permissible. Mishnah says, even a wall which is not considered binyan on Shabbos, nevertheless it's also when they know. In other words, according to Arukh HaShulchan, if they don't, even they do know, but they don't look like a real wall, it should be okay. Mishnah says, even they don't look like a real wall, as long as they know it's forbidden. In order they shouldn't come to mock the Easter Shabbos. But that's basically the Sharatim according to the Rashba, which we quoted before. Okay, now left somewhat unsatisfying here. Yutes. Afim lo idiyam shosem matomachis. I'm not telling them you make from them a wall now. If it's likely they're going to sense it. Such as he made a wall of them once and they became aware of it afterwards. Also, lo lasos. You can't make the wall of them another time. I feel him, Lord, you even didn't tell them. It's very likely when they see him among them. Yavino said, they're going to understand it. Another person can make a mechitza of them. That we're not sure. It says it's unsure. Mishnah says, only mentions that in a way that they become aware afterwards it's also. It's not if it's Karov Adover, I guess. But rather, it's definitely going to understand. It would seem that nevertheless it's also. Once he made one for the purpose, once he made them a mechitza once. So therefore, perhaps it's actually, he agrees with the Arukh HaShulchan. That even they can recognize on their own, it's a problem. Moshe Bro says it is a suffix, the Beisesa keeps it a suffix, if the other person can make a mechitza of them or not. Because it's a suffix, maybe whether they'll sense what's going on or not. The Rabbis needs to be make of the Arukh HaShulchan is machmir, obviously. Arukh HaShulchan actually doesn't say that's a suffix. Ava banashim acherim, but other people, gamu yachol asos, shayla gishu. Even if already made a wall of human beings, want to make it again. But I know the imbitchil lo yedum. He said if they didn't know about this initially, and this who wanted to make a wall of them is walking among them. Even though later on they sense, hey, what's going on here? And Lachush not concerned. Since when they were initially made into wall, they didn't know. There's a big kula. And the reason why I asked them to use the same people another time is because they're already wise. And they know already from the beginning, why are we being brought here together? Adam who wrote they shouldn't be put together by a person who wants to use this wall. Somebody else should do it without the person whom they're being used being aware that they're being used for mechitza for him. So that's what I'm saying. The Zion Sham aim is a tambor. It's not clear why. Rashba the Rashba is not argues the Kema Shemar Sham. Also, a person can make a person to walk. There she is so she can drink and eat and sleep. Ayin Sham. Brian Farish Ram will have to say that it's by being done by another person. Talmud here. It seems to be. If he himself does it, they're going to feel sensitive immediately. But if somebody else does it, and then he'll come afterwards, like to use it, they won't sense it very much at all. Shmuel says a different pshat. He says that just like the people should not know that they're being placed for the purpose of the mechitza, so to the person who's placed them should not know they're being placed there for a mechitza for himself. Okay. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Should only do it if it's necessary and it's a very pressing circumstances. If you forgot something, you want to bring it home. Wow. It's better to take a child there. The child pick it up, I guess. And the child bring it back. Without a wall, it says they're making a wall out of human beings, and then an adult should use that wall. So Arukh has a caveat. The children have to do it for their own hanah. They're going to see something and pick it up, they're going to pick it up. So they'll take it home for their own curiosity or own satisfaction. They're doing it for the purpose of the father. It's us, of course. I have a basic question. The cave the people are not allowed to know they're there for the wall. They're going innocently. But still that a person's foot is not 3 tvachim wide. Have a psir chatzi amah from foot to foot. There's a walk of half an amah. Dainu shlosh tvachim. Uvagova regel v'adar shlosh tvachim of the oser, and the height of the foot is definitely more than 3 tvachim. How is it mechitza? A mechitza psulo. There's a mechitza which is possible because they're more than 3 tvachim from the where the legs are joined together to the ground, where there's going to be more than 3 tvachim a gap. There's a custody fave. I feel about nashram nim zayt so that pochas mishloisha. It says even there are people standing next to each other within 3 tvachim. I feel Arukh HaShulchan mechitza. I'm sorry. Feel nashram nim zayt so that pochas mishloisha. It sounds when they're standing still, there's less than 3 tvachim between them, and even when they're walking, it's Shusayachim. How when they're walking, So it'll be a wall. So I have to say, there is not just one row of people, but there are rows of people standing next to each other. So the legs of the second row will come out to be between the legs of the first row. By Gavna Yochel and that way, since they are arranged that way, there's not going to be 3 tvachim between left empty. Bracket says here, I'm going to contest. Why is it going to run up beside the He says that the legs are actually tied together. That can't work. That's going to an animal. Which goes to shekel. The other it's not possible about a human being. So he talks to das. He's going to not know if they tie him together. His legs. He's going to ask, "Why are you doing this?" The guy mahalchim also have to walk. Which goes to do. That was.